The Brady Bunch, which ran from 1969 to 1974, has long since charmed viewers with its portrayal of a blended family. The series featured Mike and Carol, who blended their families to create an ideal household filled with love and laughter. They faced everyday challenges with their 6 kids and their supportive housekeeper, Alice, and dog, Tiger. However, after the series concluded, various surprises and secrets began to surface, raising questions about the seemingly perfect lives of the characters. Notably intriguing is the absence of Mike in the final episode, which sparked much speculation. Fans have wondered about the reasons behind this decision and what hidden dynamics existed within the show's production that contributed to such mysteries. As viewers enjoy reruns and fondly recall their favorite moments, they may also delve into the less visible aspects of the show that created a lasting impact.
Old magazines? Uh-huh. And I'm going to win. Oh yeah? Bet I can.
The Brady Bunch was a beloved classic television sitcom that premiered on ABC on September 26, 1969, and ran until March 8, 1974. Created by Sherwood Schwartz, the show followed a blended family of 6. Mike Brady, a widowed architect, had 3 sons named Greg, Peter, and Bobby. He married Carol Martin, who brought her 3 daughters, Marcia, Jan, and Cindy, into the family. As they navigated the challenges of family life, viewers found warmth and humor in their experiences. From hectic family vacations to Hawaii to the sibling fights that felt all too familiar, the show captured the essence of family life. Each episode presented relatable issues like jealousy, friendship, and growing up, making it easy for audiences to connect with the characters. The show's charm lay in its ability to tackle everyday problems with a lighthearted touch, while always bringing the family together at the end. With its catchy theme song and endearing characters, The Brady Bunch remains a significant part of television history, cherished by many for its portrayal of love, laughter, and the trials of family life.
I'll get it.
I just hope the next kid who...
While the show was a beloved family sitcom, the atmosphere behind the scenes of The Brady Bunch contrasted sharply with its cheerful exterior. Many fans remain unaware of the real drama that unfolded during its production. One significant story revolves around Tiger, the family dog. Tiger was portrayed as a key member of the Brady clan, but sadly, he passed away during filming, prompting a storyline that had to be adjusted to explain his absence. The decision to replace Tiger with a new dog was met with mixed feelings from cast members and fans alike, as the bond with the original actor was strong. Another layer of tension arose from the conflict between Robert Reed, who played Mike Brady, and the show's producers. Reed was known to have strong opinions about the show's direction and often clashed with producers over script choices, particularly when he felt the stories did not align with the values he wanted to portray. This created a sometimes strained environment, as Reed advocated for more serious and meaningful storylines, while producers aimed for lighthearted, comedic episodes that appealed to viewers. These behind-the-scenes dramas contributed to an atmosphere filled with pressure and unresolved conflicts, contrasting with the show's image of familial harmony. The interactions between the cast and crew, as well as their personal struggles, painted a complex picture of life during the making of such an iconic sitcom. The legacy of the Brady Bunch remains largely defined by its wholesome characters and cheerful storylines, but beneath that surface lay a rich tapestry of personal challenges and professional disagreements. The inspiration for the 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch came from an article in the Los Angeles Times. The series creator, Sherwood Schwartz, explained that it was an unusual case where a writer could pinpoint exactly where the idea originated. It wasn't a long, elaborate story, but a short, 4-line piece in the newspaper. The article reported a statistic from 1965, stating that 31% of all marriages that year involved people who had children from previous marriages. At first glance, it seemed like just a simple statistic, but for Schwartz, it represented something much more significant. He recognized it as an indicator of a major shift in American society, one that reflected the changing structure of the family unit. This realization struck him as an opportunity to explore a new kind of family dynamic on television. The show would go on to depict a blended family, where a widower with 3 children marries a woman with 3 daughters, reflecting the increasing commonality of such family situations. It was this shift in societal norms that served as the foundation for the Brady Bunch, which would go on to become a beloved television classic. The casting choices for the Brady Bunch were quite interesting, with some unexpected turns in the process. Gene Hackman was originally considered for the lead role of Mike Brady. At the time, Hackman was an unknown actor, and although the producers were intrigued by him, they ultimately decided to cast Robert Reed as Mike Brady. Reed, being the more successful of the two at the time, was seen as a safer choice. This decision proved to be pivotal in shaping the iconic family dynamic that the show became famous for. On the other hand, Florence Henderson, who portrayed Carol Brady, faced her own challenges when it came to her appearance. She wore a wig throughout the entire first season of the show, which was necessary to conceal her real hair. The reason for this was that her hair had been cropped short for a previous role she had played in an off-Broadway revival of South Pacific. The wig became an important part of her look as Carol Brady, even though it was a temporary solution to the challenge of her previous role's hairstyle. These casting decisions and costume challenges helped shape the visual and dynamic appeal of the Brady Bunch, contributing to its success as a beloved family sitcom.
Good evening, Mr. Millard. Yes.
The 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch became a cultural staple and remains beloved by fans even decades later. One of the most iconic scenes in the series is from the episode titled, "Oh, My Nose." In this memorable moment, the character Marcia Brady, played by Maureen McCormick, gets hit in the nose with a football, which leads to her injury, and sets off a series of comedic events. The scene is etched in television history, but what many fans may not realize is that it wasn't entirely scripted as planned. In the original shoot, Christopher Knight, who played Peter Brady, was the one tasked with throwing the football. However, Peter's attempt was not accurate enough to create the dramatic moment the writers envisioned. As a result, the scene required an impromptu change. The show's writer, Lloyd Schwartz, stepped in to take over the task of throwing the football. With one try, Schwartz threw the ball perfectly, hitting Maureen McCormick's nose right where it needed to be. This was the take that made it into the final cut of the episode, and it has since become one of the most famous and often quoted moments from the Brady Bunch. The scene is particularly memorable for how it showcased not only the chaos and humor that the Brady Bunch was known for, but also the unplanned behind-the-scenes moments that often made the show feel so natural and relatable. Maureen McCormick's reaction to the ball hitting her nose became an iconic piece of television history, solidifying the episode as one of the series' standout moments. The cast of the Brady Bunch was iconic, with each actor playing a central role in creating the beloved family sitcom. However, off-screen dynamics were not always as harmonious as their on-screen relationships. A particularly notable tension was between Maureen McCormick, who played Marcia Brady, and Eve Plum, who portrayed Jan Brady. The two did not get along for a significant portion of the show's run, and this tension continued even after the series ended. Maureen McCormick later revealed that she had issues with Eve Plum, and the relationship between them was described as strained and difficult. Lieutenant Susan Olsen, who played Cindy Brady, commented on the situation by stating that she had always found herself in the middle of the feud. She also expressed how the conflict between Maureen and Eve reached a point where communication through her was no longer possible. Olsen remarked that it had become rather petty, with no one involved seemingly willing to make any effort to resolve their differences. Despite these off-screen issues, the cast managed to continue their roles, and the Brady Bunch remains a beloved television classic to this day. Yet, the behind-the-scenes tensions were a reminder that even in close-knit on-screen families, personal disagreements can sometimes overshadow the camaraderie displayed in front of the camera.
Eat. Alice, would you bring those sandwiches, please?
Yes.
The Brady Bunch, a classic American television sitcom that aired from 1969 to 1974, is remembered not only for its portrayal of a blended family, but also for a tragic incident involving the family dog, Tiger. In the early episodes of the show, Tiger was a beloved member of the Brady family, often seen in various scenes with the children. Unfortunately, during the production of Season 1, just before Episode 5 was filmed, Tiger was hit by a car and tragically killed. This was a heartbreaking event for the cast and crew, as the dog had become an integral part of the show's early charm. After Tiger's death, the producers attempted to find a replacement dog for the role. However, the new dog did not work out as well as hoped, leading to further challenges in continuing with the show's narrative involving the dog. Despite the unfortunate loss of Tiger, the show had to adapt and move forward with its filming schedule. Interestingly, Tiger's doghouse, which had been a part of the set, remained on display for a while. This wasn't just a sentimental gesture, but also served a practical purpose. One of the studio lights had fallen and burned a hole through the astroturf, and to cover up the damage, the crew used Tiger's doghouse to hide the unsightly spot. This moment in the production process, though tragic for the cast and crew, became a part of the show's history, marking a unique behind-the-scenes tale of how they managed to continue the series despite such an unexpected incident.
We haven't got a thing to worry about. The dentist is a dreamboat.
Oh, yes, that's one of old Dr. Gordon, a dreamboat.
No, it's his assistant.
Sherwood revealed that he casted children that had hair that matched the parents' hair. The one exception was Susan, whose hair they dyed blonder, and Bobby, whose hair they dyed darker. This attention to detail was important to the show's visual cohesion, though some choices were made to fit the image of the family better. Robert Reed, the actor who played Mike Brady, had a background in Shakespearean theater. This experience often led to clashes with the producers, as Reed found it difficult to adjust to the tone and style of the show. His acting was more formal and dramatic, which didn't always align with the lighter, more comedic nature that the producers wanted for the Brady Bunch. In the end, Reed wound up on a show that he didn't want to do in the first place, and it became more and more difficult for him as the series progressed. Sherwood, the creator, explained that his idea of a show was inspired by the format of the Encyclopedia Britannica, which reflected his structured, informational approach to storytelling. While this may have been a source of creative tension, it also contributed to the unique feel of the show. Despite Reed's struggles, his portrayal of Mike Brady became iconic and helped define the series.
The pressure and the aches and the arm packed in ice?
Oh, heck, a cold arm isn't bad for all that.
Mike and Carol's first spouses, the children's other biological parents, were subjects of some mystery in the Brady Bunch. The show's portrayal of their previous marriages took a unique turn due to the social attitudes of the time. In the case of Mike, it was made clear that his first wife had passed away, making him a widower. This was openly addressed in the pilot episode, where it is suggested that Mike had lost his first wife, which set the stage for his relationship with Carol. However, the status of Carol's first marriage remained shrouded in secrecy. The network preferred that Carol be portrayed as a widow as well, which would align with the family-friendly image of the show. Despite the creator's wishes, Sherwood Schwartz, who created the Brady Bunch, maintained that Carol had been divorced from her first husband. At the time, divorce was still a taboo subject on television, especially in series aimed at family audiences. It was seen as controversial and uncomfortable for many viewers. Due to these sensitivities, it was decided that the issue of Carol's first marriage and the circumstances surrounding her previous life would not be addressed directly. The show's producers decided that the matter would simply remain ambiguous, never revealing whether Carol had been divorced or widowed. This choice reflected the broader cultural reluctance to discuss divorce openly in family-oriented media during that era. The topic was carefully avoided, and the lack of any mention of Carol's first marriage became a defining feature of the series' handling of family dynamics. In the 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch, Fluffy the cat made a brief appearance in the first episode. This was the only time the cat was seen on screen, as the episode was actually filmed over a year before any of the other episodes were made. At the time of filming, the writers decided that incorporating two pets into the family dynamic would complicate things. As a result, Fluffy was never mentioned again after the first episode. It is interesting to consider the fate of Fluffy, and some fans like to imagine that the cat was possibly the grandparents' pet. After all, the wedding in the first episode took place at the grandparents' house, and it's possible that Fluffy continued to live there after the ceremony. The decision to remove the cat from the series was never explained, but it remains one of the many little details that adds a layer of curiosity to the show's history.
Julius Caesar.
It was an all-girls school.
It was like an all-boys school doing Little Women.
Phoebe Brady was a promotional gimmick created by Nickelodeon in 1998 when the Brady Bunch began airing on the network. The character was introduced as an evil fourth sister, an addition to the well-known Brady family. Phoebe was portrayed as the one responsible for any misfortunes or problems that occurred on the show, making her a troublemaker in contrast to the beloved Brady children. According to the promotional material, the premise suggested that when the Brady Bunch show went into reruns, Phoebe was mysteriously cut from the episodes because nobody wanted to see a bad Brady. Nickelodeon even created mock interviews with the original cast members, suggesting that they were all part of this fictional story about Phoebe. However, this entire concept was purely fabricated. It was a clever marketing strategy designed to engage viewers and generate buzz around the reruns of the iconic series. The character Phoebe Brady was never part of the actual show, and the interviews with the cast were entirely false. Nickelodeon created this humorous and fictional backstory to entertain the audience, making it a memorable, though completely made-up, part of the Brady Bunch legacy.
What are you doing now? Moving Greg's stuff to the attic. You just moved it out of the attic, didn't you?
Throughout the run of the Brady Bunch, Florence Henderson, who portrayed Carol Brady, advocated for her character to enter the workforce. Henderson felt that it would align more closely with her own real-life persona, as she was a strong, independent woman. She pushed the producers of the show to allow Carol Brady to take on a job outside of the home, reflecting the growing changes in women's roles during the 1960s and 1970s. Despite Henderson's persistent lobbying, the producers maintained that Carol Brady would remain a stay-at-home mom. However, Carol was not without activity. She often engaged in volunteer work, particularly in fundraising for charitable causes. This allowed the character to contribute to society in a meaningful way, even if it was not through paid employment. The decision to keep Carol at home was likely influenced by the desire to maintain the show's family-friendly, traditional image, even as society was rapidly changing. Still, Henderson's advocacy for a more modern portrayal of Carol highlighted the evolving expectations for women both in real life and in the media.
What you doing? Oh, Cindy, go get your secret money and give it to Greg.
Florence Henderson's life was not always as picture-perfect as her portrayal of Carol Brady on The Brady Bunch. She wanted Carol to reflect her own experiences and struggles, making the character feel more real to her. Florence faced a series of challenges before achieving her success. Born with a spinal defect, she overcame significant physical hurdles early in her life. This condition could have stopped her career before it even began, but she persevered and pushed forward. In addition to her spinal issue, she also experienced hearing loss, which added another layer of adversity to her journey. Despite these challenges, she continued to pursue her passion for performance, proving her resilience. Henderson's personal life was also filled with difficulties. She had a failed marriage, a painful experience that many might find difficult to overcome. But rather than letting these setbacks define her, she turned them into stepping stones. Florence found success as a singer, actress, and author, using her own story of overcoming adversity to inspire others. She was dressed in a white two-piece suit with rhinestones on the shoulders, and a ruffle at the waist when she delivered a powerful presentation that left the audience in awe. Her speech, lasting an hour and a half, earned a standing ovation, a testament to her strength and the impact of her story. Florence Henderson's life was a constant fight against adversity, but through it all, she emerged as a beloved figure in television history.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Brady. I really am.
Florence Henderson, known for her role as Carol Brady on The Brady Bunch, shared her childhood experiences growing up as the 10th child in a family of sharecroppers in Indiana. Her father was a hardworking farmer, and she described her upbringing as humble but full of love and family unity. Florence often spoke about how her parents instilled in her the value of hard work and perseverance, qualities she carried with her throughout her career. She also reflected on her early days as a performer, beginning her journey in show business at the age of 16 when she moved to New York City. Henderson later made her mark on Broadway, where she earned recognition for her singing talent. Her big breaks came on Broadway and in television, with her most iconic role as Carol Brady making her a household name. She often talked about how the success of the Brady Bunch opened many doors for her, yet she remained grounded, always focusing on the positive aspects of her career. Florence credited a mental technique. She used to stay focused on the good things in life, particularly in between different phases of her career. Music also played a significant part in her life. Florence Henderson loved to sing, and many of the songs she performed were not only popular Broadway tunes, but also songs that were meaningful to her family and career. She often performed songs such as My Old Kentucky Home, You Got a Friend, The Sound of Music theme, and Wind Beneath My Wings, each of which had deep personal significance. Florence Henderson's ability to blend her love for family, music, and positivity throughout her career left an enduring impact on both her fans and the entertainment industry.
All these crickets chirping.
Mr. Matthews, I think Bobby's beating...
Poverty can have a lasting impact on health, as seen through Henderson's experience. She recalled growing up in a family that struggled financially, often going without shoes or new clothes. Despite these hardships, her hardworking mother provided her with emotional support, often saying, "It'll never be noticed on a galloping horse." This positive attitude helped Henderson cope with the challenges they faced. She also had a minor birth defect, a condition called spa bida, which went unnoticed for years due to the family's inability to afford medical care. It wasn't until her career led her to New York that a chiropractor discovered the condition through an X-ray. This shows how financial struggles can delay the diagnosis and treatment of health issues, highlighting the importance of access to health care for everyone, regardless of their financial status.
That's the whole idea.
It is? Yes, it is.
In her early struggles, Henderson faced challenges that ultimately shaped her resilience and determination. One such experience occurred when her mother cut her long blonde hair, a decision that would have deprived Henderson of what could have been her first major role in a school play. Reflecting on this moment, Henderson recalled it as her first experience of turning a negative situation into something positive. Instead of landing the role of the Blessed Mother, she found herself cast as the baby Jesus, a shift she embraced with grace. Another memorable instance of overcoming adversity came when Henderson secured a small role in the musical Showboat. Although she borrowed a bathing suit for the audition, it didn't fit well, and she struggled to make it work. An old stagehand, seeing her predicament, helped her pull the suit together using safety pins. Despite the wardrobe mishap, Henderson believed it was her honesty about the ill-fitting suit that made a lasting impression. Her candidness during the audition was a key factor in earning her a callback for a second audition, showing that being genuine in the face of challenges could turn a potential setback into a new opportunity. Henderson's hearing problems started after the birth of her second child, and got worse with her third and fourth pregnancies. "It was a really traumatic time," she said, referring to the inner ear disease that was aggravated by childbirth. She couldn't hear certain instruments, which made her job as a singer, an actress extremely difficult. Lieutenant not being able to hear a pitch, or even other actors' voices was very frightening for her. The condition affected her ability to perform, and caused a lot of anxiety during her work. Fortunately, surgery corrected the deficit just in time for an audition on one of TV's most popular and longest-running sitcoms, The Brady Bunch. The timing of her recovery was crucial, allowing her to pursue the role that would become iconic in television history.
Will you go with me?
I'm so happy I could cry.
They had already hired someone else for my role, Henderson said about persevering, but I got on a plane to Houston for the audition never thinking the show would sell. The show was a huge success, running for 25 years in 150 countries. It was a testament to the power of persistence and belief in one's own potential. Henderson's story was a reminder that even when the odds seemed stacked against him, he didn't give up on his dreams. He believed that if he didn't try, he would never know if success was possible. The show, which became a staple of family entertainment, went on to have an enduring impact, transcending generations and cultures. Despite the initial setbacks, the perseverance shown by the cast and crew proved that dedication, hard work, and belief in one's abilities could lead to remarkable success. In the end, the Brady Bunch became a symbol of optimism and family values, and Henderson's story became part of its legacy, showing that persistence can lead to great things.
Well, it's a sort of a package. It's addressed to you, and I found it in the mailbox.
When her career took off, however, her marriage began to fail. She said the breakup sent her to a therapist who would become her second spouse, Dr. John Kappas, a clinical psychologist and hypnotherapist from California. Kappas taught Henderson how to reprogram the unconscious mind to achieve her goals. So pleased that Kappas helped her overcome stage fright and a fear of flying in 6 weeks, Henderson returned to his school to become a certified hypnotherapist herself. "I'm a frustrated doctor," she said about her continuing efforts to improve herself and help friends.
I just want to see how thick it's getting.
It'll never be as thick as your head.
Barry Williams, known for playing the oldest Brady kid, Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch, had to make a difficult choice during the height of his popularity. Despite being one of TV's most adored young stars with his striking blue eyes and charming smile, Williams prioritized his acting career over his social life. The show, which ran for 5 seasons, catapulted Williams to fame, making him a heartthrob for millions of fans. His face appeared on countless posters on the walls of teenage girls, who would go to great lengths just to get his autograph. However, Williams, despite the overwhelming attention, didn't feel the same way about dating or the social perks that came with being a star. At the time, he wasn't interested in dating, and his only love was his acting career. His passion for acting began at a young age. Even as a toddler, he was fascinated with the craft and begged his mother to let him pursue it. It wasn't until he was 11 years old that she agreed, though she had initially been hesitant. As he grew older, he viewed acting as a tool for self-expression, stating that if he couldn't relate to the character, he would do research to understand him better. By the time he was 19, Williams was attending Pepperdine University in Malibu, while still juggling his role on the Brady Bunch. He would attend classes in the morning and work on set in the afternoons, with additional singing, dancing, and acting lessons taking up 3 more days of his week. Despite his skyrocketing fame, Williams admitted that his biggest challenge was finding people who were like him, not just the character of Greg Brady. He longed for a more normal childhood experience, but knew that his acting career brought unique opportunities and rewards. The perks of fame, like recognition and special treatment at restaurants, were undeniable, but they also came with the downside of constant interruptions from fans asking for autographs. Still, Williams didn't seem to mind the disruptions. He acknowledged the benefits of his career, saying that the compensation alone made it worthwhile, and he had no regrets about choosing acting over a traditional social life.
To affect the mascot exchange. Well. And as for you, young man.
Yes, sir.
I think a 5,000-word...
The tension between the actresses Eve Plumb and Maureen McCormick on the Brady Bunch became one of the most talked about feuds among the show's cast members. According to various reports, the two actresses, who played sisters Jen and Marcia Brady, had an ongoing rivalry that lasted for decades. This tension reportedly stemmed from jealousy between them, which began during the filming of the series in the 1970s. The problem reached a boiling point in 2010 when Radar Online reported that their long-standing animosity had led to the cancellation of a planned Brady Bunch reunion. Sources indicated that neither Plum nor McCormick wanted to appear on the same stage, and as a result, the reunion event was scrapped. The reasons for the feud were not entirely clear, as different sources told different stories, but it was suggested that McCormick believed she and Plum had been more than just friends during the show's filming. Some reports pointed to McCormick's claim that their rivalry was rooted in more personal tensions rather than professional ones. This animosity between the two had been building for years, with multiple events where one actress would refuse to participate if the other was involved. Despite the years of ill feelings, there seemed to be a shift when the two actresses reunited for the 2019 HGTV series, A Very Brady Renovation. In this show, Plum and McCormick, along with their former co-stars, worked together with home design experts to renovate the iconic Brady Bunch house in Studio City, California. In an interview at the time, Plum was asked about the rumored feud. Laughing, she dismissed the notion that there was any unresolved conflict, saying there was no remedy needed. She explained that the cast, now adults, had all matured, and their reunion felt like a real family reunion. She emphasized that they all got along just fine, and that any past tensions were now behind them. Though there had been years of speculation about the feud, the successful collaboration in the A Very Brady Renovation show seemed to suggest that the two actresses had finally put their differences aside. Their participation in the show was a reminder of how time and maturity can heal old wounds, bringing former castmates back together for a heartwarming and nostalgic project.
Sleep with the lights on again. And now, ladies...
Behind the wholesome image of the Brady Bunch lurked a more complex reality that was far from the perfect family portrayed on screen. While the show itself was seen as the epitome of family values in the late 1960s and early 1970s, offering lessons about right and wrong, the real-life relationships among the cast members and the behind-the-scenes dynamics were full of stories that never made it to the television screen. The show's premise centered around Mike, a widowed architect, and Carol, a single mother, forming a blended family of 6 children, was the foundation of its success. The Brady household, located in a sprawling 2-story house in Los Angeles, also included Mike's live-in housekeeper Alice Nelson and the family dog, Tiger. While the show's theme was one of family togetherness and teaching valuable lessons, the cast members' personal lives were not so simple. Florence Henderson, who played Carol, became an iconic mother figure, with millions of fans associating her with the character for the rest of her life. However, rumors circulated about her relationship with Barry Williams, who played her eldest son, Greg. Williams, then 16, had a crush on Henderson, and in his 1992 memoir Growing Up Brady, he admitted to having intense feelings for her during the show's production. He described how those little things called hormones made him excited about even the smallest interactions with her. Though the relationship was never anything more than a mutual respect between work colleagues, the rumors persisted. Henderson later addressed these rumors on her website, clarifying that while Williams thought it was a date, it was, in fact, a simple dinner outing with him being driven by his older brother. However, the drama didn't stop there. Maureen McCormick, who played Marcia Brady, also found herself at the center of a scandalous situation. She admitted in her 2008 memoir, Here's the Story Surviving Marcia Brady and Finding My True Voice, that she had briefly dated Williams during the filming of the show. At just 14 years old when the series began airing, McCormick struggled with insecurities that she kept hidden behind the image of the perfect, sweet Marcia. As the show ended, McCormick's personal struggles deepened, leading to substance abuse, including cocaine and quaaludes and bouts of depression. She even revealed that she once had a drug binge at the Playboy Mansion and famously blew an audition for Raiders of the Lost Ark due to her condition. McCormick's battles with addiction persisted for several years, but after getting clean in the 1980s, she was able to come to terms with her role as Marcia Brady. Despite the troubles she faced, McCormick's journey of self-acceptance later in life allowed her to reconcile with her past and even embrace her iconic character. The tensions, struggles, and scandals that unfolded off-screen painted a very different picture from the family-friendly lessons taught by Carol and Mike Brady, but they became a significant part of the show's legacy.
The question is who broke it and who glued it together?
William, like many teens in the 1970s, admits to experimenting with drugs. However, unlike most teens, the results didn't end up on television. Enjoying a day off from the set with friends, William recalled smoking some marijuana. But in the middle of this high, the show's producers called, asking him to return to work. While he regrets this moment, William admitted that the outcome can be seen in the 1973 episode Law and Disorder. He acknowledged that he performs much better when sober, stating that he is a better actor without being high. On screen, Mike Reed, the level-headed patriarch of the Brady family, always doling out words of wisdom with a kind tone and fatherly hugs, was beloved by fans, but in real life, Reed was not the person his character appeared to be. A classically trained actor, Reed was a homosexual who kept his private life under wraps, a common practice at the time due to fears that revealing such a truth would negatively impact career success. He was seen as the perfect father, the perfect husband, playing the role of the loving patriarch in a family show. However, behind the scenes, Reed struggled with an inner conflict that he could not share. Shirley Henderson, who worked with Reed, shared in an interview with ABC News in 2000 that Reed was an unhappy person. She believed that if Reed had not been forced to live such a double life, a lot of his anger and frustration would have dissipated. Many people on set were aware of Reed's private life, but it was never openly discussed. Henderson, who had compassion for Reed, knew how much he was suffering. She also added that coming out during that time wasn't a viable option for him. I don't think the Brady Bunch could have existed at that time with the public knowing that Robert Reed was gay. I just don't think they would have bought it, she said.
Financial genius.
What happened? Where'd you get the check?
We sold Cindy's rabbits back to Mr. Kirby at the...
In the final episode of the Brady Bunch, titled The Harebrained Scheme, fans noticed the glaring absence of Mike Brady, the family's father, played by Robert Reed. While the show ended its 5-year run on March 8, 1974, with this episode, the decision to exclude Reed wasn't a simple oversight. The plot of the episode centers on Bobby trying to sell hair tonic to make money, with disastrous results when it turns Greg's hair a bright orange. The Brady family manages to fix Greg's hair just in time for his high school graduation, but they fail to adequately address why Mike Brady, the patriarch, isn't there. The show's writers chose to explain his absence with a quick line from Carol, Mike's wife, who says Mike is simply out of town. Ironically, Reed was actually present on set during the filming of the episode, but he refused to appear on screen. Known for his disagreements with the show's writers and producers, Reed had issues with the storyline. He found it implausible and beneath the quality of television he expected from the show. According to Sherwood Schwartz, the creator of the Brady Bunch, Reed declared that he wouldn't do the episode because it didn't meet his standards for good television. Reed's dissatisfaction was primarily with the ridiculous premise that hair tonic could produce such an outlandish result, which was noted in producer Lloyd Schwartz's book Brady. Brady. Despite his complaints, Reed stayed on set, though he spent much of the time grumbling about the script. Reed's refusal to appear in the episode ultimately led to his absence in the series finale. This decision, along with his dissatisfaction with the direction the show had taken, meant he missed out on being part of the historic conclusion. The series was canceled soon after, but it had already met the necessary number of episodes for syndication, ensuring its legacy. While the show came to an unexpected end, the actors had grown close and formed a real familial bond, even if the show's finale didn't quite meet the expectations of one of its stars.
Told all of them what? Nothing. I think I hear Marcia calling me. They told all of...
The Brady Bunch, a show that began in 1969, was not a top-rated series during its original run and faced cancellation in 1974. Despite this, the show refused to fade into history, and its journey was far from over. In 1976, the show found new life in syndication, airing reruns that introduced a new generation to the Brady family. During this time, Sid and Marty Krofft, known for their work on shows like Donnie and Marie, created a variety show starring the Brady family. The Brady Bunch Variety Hour debuted without Paramount's permission, launching a unique project where the family sang, danced, and participated in comedic skits. While most of the original cast returned, Eve Plumb, who played Jan, was replaced by Jerry Ritchie. Although the show was deemed a disaster by many of the cast members, it nevertheless set the stage for future Brady reunions. In 1981, NBC revived the Brady family in what was initially intended to be a 2-hour movie, The Brady Girls Get Married. This evolved into a new series, The Brady Brides, which aired for 4 episodes. The series revolved around Marcia and Jan, who were both married to 2 completely opposite men, and the couple sharing a house as newlyweds. Though it was relatively successful, it marked the last time the original cast would come together for a series. The Brady family made another return in 1988 with A Very Brady Christmas. This 2-hour movie brought the family back together for a holiday celebration, with Susan Olsen's role as Cindy being recast due to her absence. It introduced the spouses and children of the Brady kids, and became the highest-rated TV movie of 1988. Encouraged by this success, CBS sought to bring the Brady Bunch back in 1990. However, this time, the show struggled with a Friday night time slot, and despite being written by the original creator, it was canceled quickly. The show was seen as too adult and complex for the audience in that slot, and the recasting of some of the original characters may have contributed to its downfall. Though these revivals were short-lived, they did not mark the end of the Brady legacy. The popularity of the Brady Bunch continued to grow, with numerous documentaries and specials made about the family. These included Brady Mania, A Very Brady Special, and The Brady Chronicles. Even Saturday Night Live and other television shows parodied the family. The Brady Bunch had become a cultural touchstone, inspiring references from figures such as former President George Bush. In 1995, Paramount Studios produced the Brady Bunch movie, followed by a sequel in 1996. These films satirized the wholesome nature of the original show, highlighting the contrast between the 1970s and the 1990s. The films mocked the Brady family while also reminding viewers of a simpler time. Along with the films, numerous toys, songs, and books were created around the Brady Bunch, including Barry Williams' memoir Growing Up Brady, which was updated in 1999. Barry Williams, who played Greg Brady, continued to make appearances in the media, even releasing a CD titled The Return of Johnny Bravo. The 30th anniversary of the show brought new documentaries, specials, and even a television movie based on Williams' book. The Brady Bunch, notable for being the only series shown across all 3 major networks, ABC, NBC, and CB, continues to be a part of American television history. The show has also made its mark on motion picture media, further cementing its place in pop culture. As the show enters its 5th decade, it remains a cherished part of television history, leaving viewers to wonder if its appeal will ever fade. Generations of children have tuned in to watch how Marcia handled braces, or how Jan dealt with being the middle child. With its timeless lessons and humor, it's very likely that the Brady Bunch will continue to resonate with new audiences for many years to come, despite its origins in the 1960s. The legacy of the Brady family lives on, and their journey shows no signs of ending anytime soon.
It's the only place I could find that was private. Sorry if I made you angry.
Just when you thought the story of the Brady Bunch had come to its natural end, there's more to uncover. In this bonus segment, we take you behind the scenes, revealing the paths each cast member took after the cameras stopped rolling. What became of the beloved Bradys as the years went on? From unexpected career shifts to personal milestones, the cast's real-life stories are as intriguing as their on-screen personas. Stay with us as we explore the untold stories and surprising turns of fate that followed the show's iconic run. You won't want to miss this exclusive look at what happened after the final curtain fell. Alan Melvin's portrayal of Sam Franklin in The Brady Bunch remains a notable part of his career, though he only appeared in the series sporadically as Alice's boyfriend. His role was simple. He was the easygoing and reliable butcher who regularly interacted with the Brady family, but Melvin brought a unique charm that made the character memorable. Though not a central figure in the show, Sam's down-to-earth personality and his rapport with the family helped add warmth to the sitcom. Melvin's easygoing nature made him a fan favorite, yet his role in the Brady Bunch was one of many that defined his lengthy career in television. After the show ended, Alan Melvin's career continued with a range of guest spots and voice work, especially in animated series like The Flintstones, where he voiced various characters. His talent for character acting and versatility was widely appreciated, but his personal life took a darker turn as the years went on. In the 1980s, Melvin faced personal hardship when his marriage crumbled, and rumors of financial trouble surfaced, though few details were officially confirmed. Despite his popularity on screen, Melvin lived much of his life out of the spotlight, and the public never fully understood the gravity of his struggles. In his later years, Melvin's health began to decline, and he retired from acting. He lived quietly in California, removed from the hustle of Hollywood. He passed away from cancer in 2008, a death that was met with little fanfare. His passing marked the end of an era for many fans who fondly remembered him from his numerous television roles, though the world beyond his performances remained a mystery. The truth behind much of his personal life and struggles, especially in his final years, remains largely unspoken, an unfinished story sealed away by the quiet nature he had cultivated.
This afternoon.
You were?
Afterwards, Miss Goodwin and I talked, and, well...
Maureen McCormick's portrayal of Marcia Brady in The Brady Bunch became iconic, with her sweet yet sometimes frazzled persona striking a chord with audiences. As the oldest Brady daughter, Marcia was often depicted as the responsible one, caught in the everyday challenges of a blended family. McCormick's performance gave Marcia depth, with moments of vulnerability and youthful rebellion hidden beneath the polished exterior. Yet, despite her success as an actress, McCormick's post-Brady career and life were far from straightforward. After the Brady Bunch ended, McCormick struggled with the intense pressure of being forever associated with her role. The challenges of maintaining a Hollywood career proved difficult for her. She faced numerous personal issues, including battling substance abuse. McCormick's struggles were publicly documented, most notably in her 28 memoir, where she candidly detailed her struggles with cocaine addiction. Her battle with the drug overshadowed much of her early adulthood, and she later revealed her deep emotional issues, including feelings of isolation and insecurity despite her fame. Aside from her addiction problems, McCormick's personal life was filled with turbulent relationships. She had a high-profile romance with actor Michael Cummings, though they eventually parted ways. Later, McCormick faced financial difficulties, including a series of poor business ventures and personal setbacks. At one point, she was so financially strained that she had to sell her Hollywood memorabilia to make ends meet. Despite the chaos in her personal life, McCormick found some stability in her later years. She married the man she described as her rock, Michael Cummings, and began to rebuild her career in television with smaller roles. McCormick also embraced her role as a cultural icon, often participating in Brady Bunch reunions and continuing to engage with her fans. Her participation in reality television, including Dancing with the Stars, showcased her resilience, as she danced through challenges much like the characters she once portrayed. As of the most recent updates, McCormick has settled into a quieter life. Though she has refrained from the limelight, she remains active in charity work and appears occasionally on talk shows, reflecting on her past. Her story is one of both triumph and tragedy, showing how even the brightest stars can endure their own personal battles. Yet through it all, McCormick remains a symbol of redemption, a reminder that there is more to a person than the roles they play on screen.
We weren't exactly swamped with people telling us they scented it, that's what you mean.
Well, something will turn up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mike Lukenland's portrayal of Bobby Brady in the iconic 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch solidified his place in pop culture. As the youngest of the Brady children, Bobby was known for his youthful curiosity, mischievous charm, and occasional naivety. Lukenland's ability to embody this role made him a household name during the show's original run. However, once the series ended in the 1970s, Lukenland's life took an unexpected, often turbulent, turn. Though he initially attempted to maintain a career in acting, the spotlight quickly dimmed for Lukenland after the Brady Bunch. His attempts to find stable work in Hollywood faltered, and he struggled to break free from the shadow of his most famous role. The young actor battled with the pressures of fame, which often left him feeling like a mere commodity rather than an artist. In the years following the show, Lukenland faced a series of personal challenges, including a troubled relationship with alcohol. His difficulties with substance abuse were not widely known during the height of his fame, but they later came to light in interviews where he revealed the toll Hollywood fame took on his mental health and personal life. In the 1980s, Lukenland took a step back from acting and tried to rebuild his life. He turned to a more private life, working behind the scenes in various production roles, notably in television. Yet, despite his efforts to stay out of the public eye, the specter of Bobby Brady continued to haunt him. Lukenland also became known for his work as a cameraman, a career path that allowed him to find fulfillment outside the acting world. In recent years, Mike Lukenland has found a sense of peace, raising a family, and living a relatively quiet life away from the constant media gaze. His reclusive nature and choice to avoid the spotlight have led to only fragmented glimpses of his life today. Although he occasionally appears in Brady Bunch reunions or retrospectives, Lukenland remains largely out of the public eye. His legacy, defined by his role as Bobby, continues to evoke both nostalgia and curiosity, but his personal journey, with its shadows and trials, remains largely his own.
It was a top secret mission. Now, if they gave medals for a thing like that, it wouldn't be top secret anymore, now would it?
That's right.
Gordon Jump's portrayal of Collins in the 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch marked a brief, but memorable chapter in his career. As the character, Collins was a kind, well-meaning individual, playing a minor yet pivotal role in the family-centric drama. His character's calm demeanor and reliability contrasted the usual chaotic antics of the Brady family, leaving a lasting impression despite the role's limited screen time. However, Gordon Jump's post-Brady Bunch life was far from easy. While the show opened doors for him in Hollywood, it also became a double-edged sword. Jump struggled to shake off typecasting, leading to an uphill battle in securing varied roles. His career spanned several decades, during which he appeared in notable sitcoms and TV shows such as WKRP in Cincinnati, where his role as Arthur Big Guy Carlson, the bumbling but lovable station manager, brought him more recognition and acclaim. Behind the scenes, however, Jump's life was far from idyllic. Despite his on-screen success, personal hardships loomed large. Jump faced a series of setbacks in his personal relationships, and struggles with alcohol were reported, though not publicly discussed until later. His battle with addiction and its toll on his personal and professional life created a stark contrast to the friendly, often jovial persona he portrayed in front of the camera. In the later years of his life, Jump's career dwindled. By the time of his death in 2003, he was largely out of the public eye. His death was a quiet one, overshadowed by his previous work's light. Those who knew him, however, reflected on a man whose personal challenges were never as visible as his on-screen charm, but whose struggles were undeniably real. Though his professional legacy lives on through the shows he appeared in, Gordon Jump's life story remains one of quiet sorrow, overshadowed by the persona he crafted, but never fully embraced.
Your dad's bringing home a couple of old friends today.
Hello?
Oh, hi, honey!
John Howard's portrayal of Dr. Jeff Martin, the family doctor in the iconic 1969 television series The Brady Bunch, was a role that seemed, at first glance, like a small but crucial part of the show. His character served as a steady, trustworthy presence amidst the chaos of the Brady family household, offering medical advice and comfort. Yet, for Howard, this role would be one of the final highlights of his television career. After the show ended, Howard's life took a darker turn. Despite a promising start in Hollywood, he struggled to maintain a consistent career. By the early 1970s, his roles began to dry up, and he found himself sidelined. Personal issues surfaced, with Howard being caught in the shadow of scandal and personal loss. Not much was revealed about his private life at the time, but whispers about his financial difficulties and battles with substance abuse started to emerge. Reports suggested he was grappling with deep emotional turmoil, and his personal demons, combined with professional setbacks, left him isolated. His appearances became rarer, and the Hollywood spotlight dimmed. His last known public appearance was in the late 1980s, where he seemed to have faded into obscurity. There is little concrete information about his final years, with rumors of him living in seclusion, disconnected from the world that once celebrated his work. He passed away quietly, far from the fame and fortune of his earlier days. His life remains a mystery, and much of his story is shrouded in secrecy. John Howard's journey is a stark reminder of the fleeting nature of fame and the personal battles that often go unnoticed behind the glitz of Hollywood.
What's the hay for?
Oh, it's instead of snow.
Christopher Knight's portrayal of Peter Brady, the second eldest son in the 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch, made him a household name. As a child star, Knight's role in the iconic family sitcom left a lasting mark on pop culture. His character was often the middle child caught in the shadows of his older brother and younger siblings, yet he still managed to shine with his own blend of vulnerability and charm. However, the fame that came with the Brady Bunch was both a blessing and a curse. After the show ended, Knight struggled to transition from child actor to adult roles. His attempts to find work in the entertainment industry were largely unsuccessful, leading him to face the harsh realities of post-child stardom. His personal life was marked by a series of controversies and hardships. He was married 3 times, the first of which was to model and actress Tina Mahina, a union that ended in divorce. His second marriage to Playboy model and actress Adrienne Curry garnered significant media attention, with the couple's whirlwind romance and public breakup becoming tabloid fodder. In the 1990s, Knight made a brief return to the spotlight with reality television, most notably as a contestant on The Surreal Life. This marked a turning point in his life, as it revealed a darker side to the former star. Knight admitted to battling personal demons, including struggles with addiction and the deep sense of loss that followed his early fame. His honesty on the show, alongside the revealing nature of the reality series, showcased the difficulties many child actors face once their fame fades. More recently, Knight has focused on his business ventures, becoming a successful entrepreneur. He co-founded a company that designs and manufactures innovative home products. While not in the public eye as much, his life continues to reflect the complex journey of someone who grew up in the glare of fame. As of the latest reports, Knight leads a relatively quiet life, still grappling with the residual effects of his early success. Though he remains an enigmatic figure, his struggles and eventual shift away from Hollywood serve as a cautionary tale about the cost of fame and the persistence of its impact long after the spotlight fades.
Only child.
Well, if I'm an only child, this is my backyard.
You can't stand right now.
Ann B. Davis, best known for her role as Alice Nelson, the ever-patient and witty housekeeper on the 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch, became a beloved figure in American television. Alice was more than just a caretaker to the Brady family. She was a steadying force in a chaotic household, often playing the role of a surrogate mother. Davis brought a warmth and charm to the character that made her unforgettable, even though Alice's role was primarily comedic and often overshadowed by the family dynamics. After the Brady Bunch ended, Davis found herself in a complicated relationship with fame. Though she reprised the role of Alice in various spin-offs, her career did not reach the same level of success as during the peak of the show. Her life post-Brady Bunch was marked by a series of personal challenges. She battled with feelings of inadequacy, and though she continued to act, her roles were few and far between. In the 1980s, Davis seemed to vanish from the public eye, retreating from the entertainment industry. Her withdrawal was not due to lack of opportunity, but rather a deep personal transformation. In 1976, she made a shocking decision to become a devout Episcopalian, and her newfound faith became the central focus of her life. Davis reportedly felt more at peace with her decision to leave Hollywood, though it came with its own set of struggles. She often spoke of the emptiness she felt despite achieving fame, and it was her religious conviction that ultimately provided her with the fulfillment she sought. In her later years, Davis lived quietly in a modest home in Texas. Those who knew her during this time spoke of a woman who was deeply introspective and committed to her faith, though a sense of loneliness seemed to follow her. Her struggle with her identity beyond the Brady Bunch haunted her, and her decision to leave acting seemed, in hindsight, a reaction to the hollowness she experienced in the limelight. Davis' final years were marked by a series of health issues, and she passed away on June 1, 2014, at the age of 88. Her death was largely a quiet affair, as she had remained out of the public eye for years. To this day, Ann B. Davis's life remains a poignant reflection of the price of fame, the search for meaning beyond it, and the quiet solitude that often accompanies those who leave it all behind.
You heard all about what happened in school. That goon, Buddy Hinton, he's been shooting his mouth off.
Kimberly Beck played the role of the girl named Kimberly in The Brady Bunch during its 1969 season. While her character only appeared in a few episodes, it was a momentary but significant role that introduced her to the public eye. Kimberly was the young daughter of a family friend, and she fit into the Brady family's dynamic, bringing a certain charm and energy to the screen. But Kimberly Beck's time on The Brady Bunch was fleeting, and the show itself was just the beginning of her complex career in Hollywood. After The Brady Bunch, Kimberly went on to appear in several television series and movies, carving out a modest career. She starred in the 1980s slasher film Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which became one of her more well-known roles. But despite being part of some notable projects, her career never truly reached the heights that many had expected for her. Throughout her life, she struggled with the pressures of Hollywood, and rumors of personal struggles with mental health, relationships, and career disappointments circulated for years. Her personal life was often a subject of scrutiny. Kimberly Beck faced challenges in keeping a balance between her career and personal well-being. Behind the scenes, she reportedly battled substance abuse and had difficulty finding steady work. Her relationships, too, were filled with turbulence, with her private life often overshadowing her public persona. There were whispers of difficult breakups and volatile situations, which contributed to her retreat from the limelight. As the years passed, Kimberly Beck stepped away from acting, choosing a quieter life away from the media. She focused more on her personal life, and in later years, it seemed she had mostly removed herself from Hollywood's constant spotlight. There are fewer updates on her life today, and most of her activities remain private. In recent years, there has been little known about her public appearances, and speculation about her whereabouts and well-being has continued to remain a mystery to fans. Susan Olsen was just 8 years old when she took on the role of Cindy Brady, the youngest of the Brady Bunch children in the iconic 1969 TV series. Known for her blonde pigtails and sweet, innocent demeanor, Cindy quickly became a beloved character. However, Olsen's life was far from simple, despite the public image of the show. The early fame that came with the Brady Bunch was a double-edged sword, especially as she dealt with the pressures of growing up in the spotlight. As she matured, Olsen struggled with personal challenges, including issues with her mental health, addiction, and the overwhelming weight of fame. She faced a series of failed relationships and brushes with the darker side of the entertainment industry. After the show ended, Olsen's career had a few stumbles. While she appeared in some smaller TV shows and made guest appearances, she could never fully escape the shadow of Cindy Brady. As time passed, her personal life seemed to spiral further. Olsen openly admitted to struggling with alcoholism, which led to several arrests and public scandals. Her turbulent relationships, including a brief marriage, further complicated her already difficult journey. In the early 2000s, Olsen was involved in various controversies, including an infamous feud with fellow Brady Bunch cast members. In recent years, Olsen has kept a lower profile, working as a voice actress and occasionally appearing at fan events, though her involvement in public life has been limited. The last known public information about her paints a picture of someone who has attempted to regain control of her life, but remains in the shadow of her childhood fame. As of now, there is little public information on her current whereabouts or any major public events in her life.
Miserable. Well, look, you'll be miserable if you're not the hostess too, won't you? Jan, I just have to drop.
Eve Plum became a household name as Jan Brady in the iconic 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch. Jan was the middle child, often struggling with feelings of inadequacy, overshadowed by her older sister Marcia, yet eager to prove herself. The role of Jan, marked by her memorable catchphrase "Marcia, Marcia, Marcia," became a defining moment in Plum's life, cementing her status in American pop culture. However, as the show's popularity waned after its cancellation in 1974, Plum faced the daunting reality of being typecast. She struggled to escape the shadow of Jan, and despite appearances in other roles, None were able to match the fame she had as the Brady sibling. Post-Brady Bunch, Plum's career took a dark turn. She sought to distance herself from her TV persona, taking on roles that were often far removed from the idealized family life that had made her famous. She faced personal challenges, including dealing with her struggles with the entertainment industry's demand for perpetual youth, and her inability to fully break out of the image of Jan Brady. Plum later expressed feeling trapped by the very fame that had brought her early success. Her attempts to reinvent herself on stage and in film met with limited success, and she spent time working as a painter, an activity that allowed her to explore her artistic side and find some solace. In the years following her initial success, Ev's personal life was marked by secrecy and a series of personal hardships that were rarely made public. The pressure of the entertainment world, combined with her struggles with fame, left her in a state of personal uncertainty. She experienced issues with substance abuse, which she has publicly acknowledged, and was notably absent from much of the spotlight during the 80s and 90s. The rumors surrounding her personal life only fueled the mystery, with some reports suggesting she had withdrawn from public life due to personal demons. In the 2000s, Plum returned to the spotlight in various reunion specials of the Brady Bunch and other TV projects, but she never quite reclaimed the level of fame she had enjoyed in her youth. In her later years, Plum turned her focus to painting, developing a small but passionate following for her work. Her life has been one of both quiet reflection and occasional public reappearance, yet the full scope of her personal struggles remains largely shrouded in mystery. As of the latest available information, Eve Plum has largely stepped away from acting, focusing on her artwork. Though she occasionally participates in Brady Bunch reunions, her life continues to be defined by the complex relationship she has with her most famous role. Whether she has fully reconciled with her past is unclear, but her art remains a quiet testament to a woman who has, in her own way, found peace.
And I have time to finish that anyway.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I have a year-old hand-knit sock to prove it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Vincent Price played the character Professor Hubert Whitehead in the 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch. In this role, Price portrayed a quirky and mysterious character who added an intriguing twist to the family show. His unique voice and dramatic acting style captivated viewers, showcasing his ability to bring depth to seemingly simple roles. Price, known for his performances in horror films, found a surprising platform in a family-friendly context, blending humor with a hint of darkness, a signature of his career. Throughout his life, Price faced personal and professional challenges. He dealt with the bitterness of Hollywood's changing landscape, where he often found himself typecast in horror roles despite his training in classical acting. His personal life experienced strains, notably through his 3 marriages, especially to his second wife, Virginia. Their turbulent relationship was marked by her struggle with alcoholism, which deeply affected him. In the 1970s and beyond, Price became involved in various philanthropic efforts, especially in art education, which revealed his passion beyond acting. He also authored cookbooks, exploring his interest in gourmet food, but faced struggles with health in his later years. Price battled lung cancer and succumbed to the disease in 1993. His final years were spent in relative quiet, with the legacy of his theatrical contributions overshadowed by the personal demons he faced. Last known information indicates that his influence persists through various tributes and remembrances relating to his life and work in the entertainment industry.
They're really down on me.
Well, Greg, you'll have plenty of time to think about it because you just lost the car for this weekend.
Hal Smith portrayed the character of Cartoon King in the 1969 television series The Brady Bunch, adding a unique flair to his role as a children's television personality. His performance was marked by a blend of charm and eccentricity that appealed to viewers. Known for his distinctive voice, Hal's presence was comedic yet poignant, capturing the essence of childhood innocence. After The Brady Bunch, he continued to voice various characters in animated series, showcasing his talent in shows like the cartoon adaptation of The Smurfs, and later in Disney films. However, Hal's life was not without challenges. He faced personal hardships, including financial difficulties that came after struggling to secure consistent work in Hollywood. This led to a period where he even considered leaving show business. Hal faced health issues later in life, including a battle with cancer, which he approached with determination yet humility. In his later years, he became more reclusive, reflecting on his storied career and the impact of fame. His death in 1994 brought an end to a life full of creativity, but little else is known about his last days.
Leave on brothers and sisters again. Are you sure that's what you want, Jan? positive. Once you've been pushed around.
Florence Henderson is best known for her iconic role as Carol Brady in the 1969 television series The Brady Bunch. As the loving and nurturing matriarch, she became a symbol of the ideal family, yet behind this wholesome image lay personal struggles. Throughout her later life, Henderson faced significant hardships, including the death of her husband, which left her grappling with loneliness. Her career was marked by successful stints on stage and screen, yet she also endured challenges such as financial difficulties and health issues, including a battle with heart disease. In the late 1970s, Henderson confronted personal demons, including the pressure of maintaining her public persona while managing an unhappy marriage. She was transparent about her struggles and openly discussed the burdens of fame and family life. Despite challenges, she found resilience, continuing to perform, and inspiring others with her journey. Her final years included various appearances in reality shows and television, keeping her in the public eye until her passing in 2016. Her legacy remains defined by her talent, perseverance, and the warmth she brought into homes across America.
Well, I suppose they wouldn't give my story a very good review, Mr. Delafield.
No?
Jackie Coogan portrayed Harry Duggan in the 1969 television series The Brady Bunch. This character was notably a con artist, adding a layer of complexity to the family-oriented show. Coogan, who began his acting career as a child star in silent films, faced significant challenges as he transitioned into adult roles. After The Brady Bunch, Coogan's career became less prominent. He experienced financial troubles partly due to a complex contract dispute with his mother that diminished his earnings from early films. In the 1950s, Coogan became a victim of a scandal involving his finances, leading to a legal battle that changed child labor laws in Hollywood. Personally, Coogan faced hardship with divorce and illness, which impacted his life. He had 3 marriages, with the last ending in a troubled separation. In the later years of his life, Coogan found a niche in television and continued to pursue acting. His last role was in the mid-1970s. Coogan passed away in 1984, leaving behind a legacy that reflects both the triumphs and challenges of early fame.
Really rough, huh?
Well, there's no pleasing some clients. You give them modern because...
Robert Reed portrayed Mike Brady in the 1969 series The Brady Bunch, a character known for his warmth, patience, and authority as a father figure. Reed's deep voice and commanding presence shaped Mike Brady into an iconic television dad. However, behind the scenes, Reed's life was far more complicated. He struggled with his sexuality, a fact he kept hidden during his career as he faced societal pressures and Hollywood's norms. Off-screen, Reed encountered financial difficulties and had to deal with personal relationships that were tumultuous. His passion for acting often led him to clashes with the show's creators, as he wanted more serious storylines instead of the light-hearted themes placed on the series. After The Brady Bunch, Reed took on a range of roles, but never recaptured the same level of fame. He faced continuing battles, including health issues. In the later years of his life, Reed was diagnosed with HIV, a private struggle he chose to keep largely away from public view. He passed away in 1992, leaving behind a legacy that touches on the complexities of life hidden beneath jovial family sitcoms. Recent updates confirm that Reed's contributions to television continue to be studied and celebrated, but much of his personal story remains cloaked in shadows.
Honey, if it's so important, just say it.
Honest, Dad.
Jim Backus, best known for his role as the eccentric and comedic character Zachariah T. Brown in the 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch, left an indelible mark on television history. Zachariah, a wealthy, quirky millionaire who becomes involved in the Brady family's lives, was a testament to Backus's versatility, blending humor and warmth with just the right touch of absurdity. While this role highlighted his ability to embody larger-than-life characters, it was just a chapter in his storied career. Before The Brady Bunch, Jim Backus was already an established figure in Hollywood. He became a household name through his portrayal of Thurston Howell, the wealthy, bumbling millionaire on Gilligan's Island, a role that further solidified his reputation as a master of comedic timing and eccentric performances. However, by the time he took on Zachariah T. Brown, Backus was already navigating a different phase of his career, one filled with both success and struggles. Off-screen, Backus faced his own personal hardships. His life wasn't always as carefree as his television role suggested. His marriage to actress Henny Backus, though long-lasting, was not without strain. Jim Backus, known for his larger-than-life persona, was also plagued by health issues, including a battle with Parkinson's disease later in his life. He faced the painful realities of aging and the toll it took on his body, but he never fully revealed the depth of his personal struggles in the public eye. Backus's career after the Brady Bunch saw him dabbling in voice work, most notably providing the voice for the iconic character of Mr. Magoo in the animated series, a role that would bring him enduring fame. But with the 1980s came a sharp turn in his public life. In 1989, at the height of his illness, Jim Backus passed away, marking the end of an era. His death left many unanswered questions about the personal turmoil he had endured in his later years. Though he was beloved by fans, his final years were largely overshadowed by health complications and the gradual retreat from public life. There is little known about his personal life in those final years, and much of his posthumous legacy rests on his timeless characters, leaving a trail of unanswered questions about what lay beneath the surface of the persona he carefully cultivated. Jim Backus, like many Hollywood stars of his time, remains a complex figure whose life was as multifaceted as the characters he portrayed, filled with both laughter and shadows.
Tickled me.
Well, I guess dear old Dad will have to be the big provider.
Barry Williams will forever be remembered for his portrayal of Greg Brady in the iconic 1969 TV series The Brady Bunch. His role as the oldest Brady child was a defining one, with Williams embodying the teenage heartthrob that captured the essence of family sitcoms of the era. However, behind the polished facade of Greg Brady lay a life far more complex and tumultuous than many could have imagined. After the Brady Bunch ended in 1974, Williams' life took several unexpected turns, far from the family-friendly image he had cultivated on screen. As he transitioned from child star to adult actor, Williams found himself battling the limitations of his early fame. His career, though diverse, never quite matched the success he had achieved with the Brady family. Roles in TV movies and small guest appearances followed, but none had the lasting impact of Greg Brady. Beyond the stage, Williams' life was marked by struggles. Like many former child stars, he faced challenges with substance abuse. In the 1980s, he was involved in a widely publicized scandal where he was caught in an affair with his Brady Bunch co-star, Eve Plum, who played Jan Brady. This affair created a rift in the Brady Bunch cast, leaving a sour note on what had once been an idealized family unit on screen. His personal life saw more turbulence with failed marriages, struggles with relationships, and financial instability. At one point, Williams even faced legal issues, including a messy divorce and allegations of financial mismanagement. Despite these hardships, Williams found solace in writing and authored a memoir, Growing Up Brady, in which he reflected on his time as Greg Brady and his life post-Brady Bunch. Williams continued to appear in the public eye sporadically, occasionally making guest appearances on reality shows, documentaries, and Brady Bunch reunions. In more recent years, however, details about his life have become increasingly scarce as he withdrew from the limelight. He has not had any major public scandals in the last decade, but his past still remains a shadow over the image of the once sweet Greg Brady.
It was that dumb man driver's fault.
That was my sister.
Marcia Wallace's portrayal of Mistress Robbins in The Brady Bunch marked one of her earliest and most notable roles, though the character itself was brief and minor. As Mistress Robbins, she appeared in only one episode of the series, yet her comedic timing and unmistakable voice hinted at the depth of her future career. Her character was memorable for being a quirky and somewhat eccentric schoolteacher, a role she played with a humorous undertone that subtly showcased her distinctive vocal talents, which would later become her trademark. While The Brady Bunch was a stepping stone in Wallace's career, it was far from her defining moment. After the series, Wallace built a varied career in television, becoming a beloved voice actress. She famously voiced the character of Carol Kester on The Bob Newhart Show, where her deadpan humor was perfectly suited to the sitcom's tone. Yet, despite these successes, Wallace's life after The Brady Bunch was fraught with personal challenges and darker moments. Marcia Wallace battled numerous personal difficulties, including struggles with her mental health. She was open about her battles with depression, which she later described as a lifelong struggle. A series of health problems also marred her career. She suffered from several physical ailments, including chronic pain, which led to a long period of fluctuating work in the later years of her life. However, she found solace and some stability in her family life, marrying and raising a son, Michael. Despite this, Wallace's personal life was not without scandal. In the early 1990s, her second marriage ended, a painful chapter she never fully recovered from. The most tragic chapter in her life occurred after the unexpected death of her close friend and co-star, John Ritter, in 2003. His passing deeply affected her, and she struggled with a profound sense of loss. Wallace's career took a sharp downturn, but she continued to work, often in small roles, refusing to fade from the public eye. However, it was her role in The Simpsons, where she voiced Edna Crabapple, that cemented her place in popular culture. Tragically, Wallace's health continued to decline, and she passed away in 2013 at the age of 70, leaving behind a legacy defined by both personal tragedy and remarkable talent. To this day, the mysterious allure of Marcia Wallace's life remains a poignant reminder of the challenges faced by public figures behind their iconic roles. While she remains cherished for her contributions to television, the darker aspects of her life show a more complex portrait of the woman behind the roles.
What's the difference? There goes my date with Doug.
The Brady Bunch is one of the most beloved TV series of the late 1960s and early 1970s. The show brought together a blended family, offering a look at the challenges and joys of family life in a fun and relatable way. The cast, from Robert Reed as Mike Brady to Florence Henderson as Carol Brady, became iconic in their roles, leaving a lasting impact on pop culture. However, their lives were not without personal struggles. Robert Reed, who played the patriarch, had a difficult time dealing with the pressures of Hollywood and struggled with his personal identity. Florence Henderson, who played the matriarch, faced her own challenges with balancing career and family life. Despite the struggles, the series remained a cornerstone of American television. Now, as we reflect on this show, we ask you, did you watch the Brady Bunch during your childhood? What memories do you have of the Brady family and their adventures? Share your stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear how this iconic show impacted your life.
Thought you invited Miss Rah Rah.
You started it by bringing over that sardine.
Sardine.